evening. Well, I think I'm about 80 or 90 kilometres from Coolgardie. It's Tuesday night, so end of day 2, and what a long day. Last night I slept, actually you've already checked in with me this morning, so you know where I slept, but the roads, oh my god, just the worst roads today. I don't know what on earth they're made out of, but it's like the most rough, soul-sapping, speed-destroying disgrace of a surface I've ever come across. Normally, on the Pacific Highway back home, can comfortably hum along about 30k an hour. Here, I was this morning from all the way from wherever I was, Meriden, through till Southern Cross, I couldn't even average 20 kilometres an hour. I had this crosswind, but it was a headwind come crosswind, so I was just battling into this breeze the whole time, and it just blew me to pieces. That 130 odd kilometres to Southern Cross took me the best part of 7 hours, so it was just horrendously slow. So I stopped there and had a bacon and egg hamburger and had some food, did some shopping at the IGA, and sort of got ready because I knew that I had a fairly long distance now between sort of services. I did get some advice from somebody in a shop who said that there was a truck stop about 40 kilometres east of Southern Cross, so I sort of I bet the bank on that. Got all my food at the IGA, but sort of stocked up on water at the roadhouse at Yellow something or other, Yellow Glen or something like that. So I sort of just left with 3 bottles of Gatorade and about 6 litres of water or something like that. So I knew that I had enough to get me through. Between Southern Cross and Coolgardie is about 189 kilometres, and so I guess it probably left me in a gap between Yellow Glen and some other random. That's a truck you can hear in the background, by the way. I'm only about 20 or 30 metres off the side of the road, so it's going to be a fairly fitful night's sleep, I'd say, because the trucks kind of sound like the world ending at about 3 in the morning. I think it left me with a distance of probably no more than about 100 something kilometres, so it was pretty sort of token distance, but I stocked up just to get a feel for how I was going to go with that much water and stuff on the bike. I'll make a few adjustments next time. I've got a bit of a plan as to how I can carry a little bit extra, so that when I'm down on the Nullarbor, I'll have a bit more leeway, and hopefully I'll get some kind of reasonable wind, because that wind today just killed me. I don't know what happened, but just coming out of Southern Cross, the road surface completely changed, and it went from being just the Devil's Road to being some kind of quasi-hot mix, and so it was just so much smoother, and all of a sudden you're humming along so much faster, and then the wind, I don't know if it stopped or whether or not it swung to be a little bit of a tailwind, and all of a sudden I was just comfortably sitting on 30k an hour, so I tried to make up a little bit of lost time. And so from Southern Cross I probably put in about 100 k's. I knew that I didn't want to ride too far tonight, because I dug a bit of a hole last night. I didn't get a whole lot of sleep because sleeping in a bivvy your first couple of nights out is always a little bit fitful, just sort of figuring out how to get comfortable and that sort of stuff. As the fatigue sets in down the line, I'm sure I'm just going to touch my head in the pillow and be out for 8 or 9 hours straight, but at the minute I'm sort of having an early-ish night, 8 o'clock, and then trying to get as much sleep as I can, and I'll get going early in the morning, make Coolgardie to Widgie-Miltha is about 70 odd k's, and then Widgie-Miltha to Norseman's, I don't know, another 90 k's, so all up I'm probably left with 250 kilometres to make it to Norseman tomorrow, which sounds quite reasonable, assuming that the wind's favourable. If I cop a subtly or something, and on the way down to Norseman I may not make Norseman, but I'll see how things go. It was kind of in the back of my head that I wanted to be at Norseman at end of day 3, so sort of things are still looking like as though it's feasible. That at 2 o'clock this afternoon I would have said you were dreaming, given how slow things have been going so far, but they've come good. Other things of interest today, I got swooped by my second magpie. Just some random magpie took off out of the grass on the side of the road in a paddock and decided to swoop me for the next couple of hundred metres down the road. I was in the absolute middle of nowhere, so thankfully I guess he was a polite swooping magpie, because he only stayed about sort of 10 metres above my head or something and just sort of dipped and swooped up and down, but didn't really sort of come in to try and tear my ears off like the more sinister magpies back home. And I had a couple of close calls with trucks, but I'm sort of starting to get a bit of the hang of that. It's really strange, because some trucks will give you the entire road, and some of them will just. I had one that actually, I don't know whether it was deliberate or whether or not he wasn't paying any attention, but he was actually coming in the opposite direction, and he came. It was a two lane bit of road, and I'm on the far shoulder, and he came all the way across the lane, and was like no more than a metre away from me whilst travelling in the opposite for no reason whatsoever. Almost blew me off the road. Certainly scared the crap out of me, because I wasn't expecting it at all. You kind of anticipate that a truck will be able to actually stay in its own lane on a flat, level piece of ground. So this evening's dinner, I got here and sort of just chowed on anything with salt in it, because I'm sort of craving salt a bit at the moment, and I just came up with the most ingenious meal. It's just perfect, which is Deb instant potato with the chicken stock flavouring stuff out of 2-minute noodles in it. Oh god, it's just the greatest thing in the entire world. I mean, I'm a bit of a fan of Deb, but this just took it to a whole new level, because it was salty and warm and just about everything I needed at that instant. So it's just unreal. So that's it for this evening. I'll check in with you again tomorrow and let you know how things are panning out. Cheers.